I'm outside because the sun's out and I wanted to pretend like it's spring. It is not spring, it is winter. Sun on your face, sun on your face. Hey, hi, it's me and my real face, whoop-de-doo. This is kind of a special video because it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me, yay for me. This project, it just seemed perfect for the occasion. And I just had a lovely time making this video. I'm just gonna tell you, it was really fun and I hope you enjoy it. This really is a personal project for me. I first did it as a mental health project. Actually, I was in a really dark place and I needed to make something, anything, because, you know, as we know, creating is healing. I definitely know that. And sometimes it's the only thing I can do, honestly. So maybe you can identify with that. I also grow my own lavender. So I came up with this little sachet project one day. It's actually a very contemplative and soothing project to work, I think. It's just a nice little message from yourself in your underwear in the morning or on your dresser, you know. It makes me smile just being a little sweet to myself, you know. It's nice. It's a good thing to do. Should do more of it. Ron, can you stop licking yourself in behind me? Hey, just sit there and look cute. Don't lick your butt. And I thought this video would be a perfect opportunity to just share a little more about myself. It's part of my new motto I have going called Lean In. I didn't make a lean in pillow because I think that's more of like a hoop, you know. I'm definitely starting to lean in to my personality, my vibe here, and the things I care about. So it's definitely an evolving process here on my channel, which I'm enjoying a lot. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it, I'm having a blast. It's super fun. I keep saying this is my clubhouse because that's really how I see it. I'm sending this weirdo beacon out to you. This one especially. To gather my people. That's how I think about it. I'm just waiting for you to show up. I think this is something fun and magical is happening here. I can really feel it starting to gain momentum, at least for me. So I feel like it's just a matter of time till you guys show up and make it happen. It's time to get this weird party started, baby. So if you like what you see, push the button, hang out, because there's going to be a lot more fun stuff coming up. Let us begin. So today I'm basically going to show you how to design and execute your own embroidery patterns while still keeping everything super simple. As in most of my other videos, I will assume you know the basics. There are just so many YouTube channels out there doing a great job of teaching that stuff. I just let them. But I do think this is a great project for beginners since I'm just using a few basic stitches and very simple techniques. Any cotton or cotton-like material with a tight weave will do. I use Kona cotton or muslin usually for embroidery. Natural cotton muslin is super cheap, lightweight, and has a natural texture. For this project, it's really easy to see through when we're tracing patterns. That's the main thing. I used my hand-dyed fabric last time, but with a dark fabric, it's a little harder to get your design drawn on there. So this time I saved the dyed fabrics for the backs, which I think is a great finish for these. Now, ideally, you would iron the fabric before and after stitching, of course, but I realized that unless you sew, you might not even own an iron. So I purposely will not iron things for this project. Off the bolt, it's fine, but washing the fabric will wrinkle up quite a bit, just FYI. And then you need your embroidery stuff, some embroidery thread. I'm using a 3-inch hoop. You can use a bigger one if that's more comfortable. Needles, scissors, all that good stuff. A pencil and paper for sketching your design, a ballpoint pen or a washable marker to get the design onto the fabric, and tape of any kind. Now I'm going to figure out my designs. I brainstormed a bunch of phrases here on my computer and in my sketchbook. There are tons of fun things you could say, of course, but I really tried to stick with affirmations versus like directives or statements, something that describes me already as I am, rather than an order to do something or not do something, if that makes sense. I chose a little differently this time than I did the first time, just picking what speaks to me the most at this moment. Once I decide on a few sayings I know I want to do, I like to sketch out a rough idea of the designs, just to see the placement of the letters and whatever I have in mind, fitting everything into the space, etc. Again, just really rough ideas. Okay, when I'm ready to start my final design, I use a piece of printer paper. Now I am moving to my laptop. I'm going to use Word to figure out my letter design here. I have also used my iPad for this. You just get a word processing app that has fonts. Yes, I could definitely do the lettering from scratch, but using the computer takes care of the spacing, lining them up straight, and it's just easy to change the size, I find, so I usually just start here. I just play around until my words fit the way I want them to. Definitely bigger is better when doing word embroidery, at least for me. Then I tape the paper onto the screen and use it as a light box to trace my letters. Now you can definitely print out the letters instead, of course, and trace it directly onto your fabric. I do it this way so that I can make changes easily and not fight with my printer getting the size right. But, you know, do whatever works for you. Now I have my letters all penciled out, I can add my other elements. The first one I use stars, which you can definitely do freehand pretty easily. Another thing you can do is to insert some clip art into your document. Then you can mess with the size and trace it where you need it, or just move your paper around to get it, in the right spot. Instead of drawing complete shapes for everything, I went more with lines, which I can build up naturally with my stitches, just giving myself a little bit of flexibility. But put in all the lines if that's how you want to work. Now, for this project, I am not worried about how fancy and intricate my designs are. I had to have a talk with myself about it a few times, but I wanted a bunch of them, so I knew I'd never finish if I made them too fancy. And also, this project is mostly for me anyway, remember? So look, whenever you make something, listen now, okay? You have a choice. You do not have to show anyone. What? I know, it's weird, but you can make stuff and put it in your little sock drawer and no one will ever see it or judge it. Okay, it's a thing you can do. Make art for yourself. It's really special. Just do it for you. Let go of the stress of imagining what people are going to think about it. It's really, really nice. Now I am going to trace my final design in ink pen. And now I'm using a blank document as a light box again to trace my design onto my fabric with a ballpoint pen. A washable marker works well too, like I said. A pencil will wash out, but also can rub off before you're finished stitching, so keep that in mind. Again, there are a lot of ways to transfer embroidery designs. I feel like this is the easiest for me with the supplies I have on hand. For this one, I thought not using caps was kind of a cool concept, but caps would definitely be easier to stitch for sure. First, I just put those little dots where the stars are going to go because I thought I would just freestyle them, but I think drawing them out is better for me. I like to do the outlines or to have a choice, but you could definitely freestyle them. I think backstitch is the easiest for lettering. The curvier it is, the shorter the stitch. I wasn't super careful about the lengths of my stitches. Again, I was trying to kind of go fast, but you know, when you hit the curves, make them tiny. Hey, you need to hear this every day, okay? You are fucking awesome. Remind yourself occasionally, all right? And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Oh, and you might as well get used to some swearing around here. I'm just saying. Some of these stars I did outlines for. Some of them I filled in. Some of them I just did like, you know, you would draw on a piece of paper, and they're kind of fun. Stars are easy. They're fun. Well, now that I'm a woman of a certain age, as they say, I kind of think I'm hot on occasion, you know, or more I think I was hot, but it's been a while, I guess, is kind of how I feel most of the time. My husband's really good at reminding me he thinks I'm hot, but this is a good message for myself. The sun seemed like a logical source for the flames, and I guess a symbol of my body freedom now, too, that we live on our nice little private oasis. I spend all summer outside wearing all the skimpy outfits I want to, and I never was a sun worshiper before, but I think I get it now. Again, my technique here is to stitch along the line and then work back and forth to build it up, while hopefully the color changes a little. Please tell me what is more fun than working a bunch of wavy lines in stem stitch. I'm just asking. Peace bubble. This is a personal meditation that I do sometimes when I'm feeling maybe overwhelmed or reactive to things, or maybe preparing myself to go somewhere like being in a crowd or driving a long distance. I take a deep breath and inhale light to fill myself up. And then on the exhale, the light goes out in every direction, creating a big purple bubble around my body. And with each breath, it pushes farther out, like a protective energy bubble. I don't know, it works for me. I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I will be creating a perimeter around our property along the same lines, but with mannequin sculptures. Yes. The 4 elements at the 4 directions, you know, starting this summer, so look out for that one. Yeah, I was pretty far along before I realized I had misspelled this word. And because it was a gift and on camera, I decided to redo it. So this one is a birthday gift for my almost birthday twin, Ash, my brother's kid. We are 40 years and 1 day apart, and we are super close. We have been since they were born. Every summer we have our anti-summer camp, so check out my channel for some videos that we've made for that. I thought a unicorn fit well for badass. You have the strength of the horn, which can do some damage for sure, but also the colorful hair and overall mystique. So a magical, beautiful badass. Perfect. This is my abstract unicorn-ish design I came up with, and I like it. Aren't these some cool colors? These are the non-binary flight colors. Hooray! I think they're gonna love it, and I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I could just stem stitch wavy lines all day long. Well, I liked the badass so much I decided I definitely needed one for myself. So here's my big chance to keep the messed up one and keep going. Yep, that was not my plan, but you know what? A reminder that even a badass has faults, and that's just fine. And of course, I had to choose the rainbow color theme because I love rainbows, if you haven't noticed. I have always loved them. They're like a little surprise gift from nature, I feel like. I am one of those people who will run outside and yell rainbow like a dork. I actually had a whole rainbow room when I was young, and I recently decided to bring them back. And I'm a huge queer ally, so it works out great. I feel like it's a bonus that making rainbow stuff might piss somebody off, like who the hell gets mad at rainbows? Who would want to outlaw all the rainbows? I'll tell you who. Satan, that's who. I mean, am I wrong? I'm pretty sure Jesus would agree with me. For my original project, I did everything freehand. I didn't draw anything onto the fabric, just freeballing, as they say. I'm pretty sure that's what they say anyway. I just wanted to, not think about it too hard. It's pretty liberating. And even though freeballing can be fun, having a guideline I feel like is way less stressful for me, to be honest. So you can definitely just go straight to your fabric and just draw things onto it freehand. And I encourage you to try it. Free up, live on the edge. This last one I really wanted to bust out quickly. I felt kind of, energized when I was doing it. Like, stab, yeah, stab, I do, stab, what I freaking want, stab. It was fun, and it was free feeling to just go for it and not try to be too precious, This is such a big motto for me in life. I almost don't need a sachet for it, but it's also more for my hubs, who is newly retired and he just doesn't really know what to do with himself. He was such a workaholic. I think he's kind of stunned being able to actually do whatever he wants now. So I might put this in his drawer to remind him. But for me, every step of the way, I did what I wanted to do the way I wanted to do it. And you know what? I'm really proud of that. Wasn't easy or even supported sometimes, but I did it. And now here I am doing this channel exactly the way I want to do it. And you know what? It feels great. I will keep doing that, I think. Now I'm going to sew little pillows filled with lavender. You can definitely just use fiberfill though, but I do love the smell. I want to cut everything into 4-inch squares, so making a template makes life a lot easier, it really does. I center it and mark it with my finger, and then I center it the other way so I know it's covered, and then I mark it at the corners and the sides. Here are some of my own hand-dyed fabrics I'm going to use for the backs. There's one with a cool print that I did a while back, so I am definitely going to use that one. I'm going to use just regular sewing thread. You can use the embroidery thread too, that's fine. I do a short running stitch, maybe, 4 or 5 little stitches, and then one back stitch to kind of lock them in. Then just leave an opening like you would for a pillow, and leave the thread hanging, and we'll just use that to close it up when we're done. I made this paper funnel, but the pieces were too big to go through it. But you could make a paper funnel if your pieces are little enough. I ended up just stuffing them in with my fingers. I used about a half a cup for each one, which was this little dish filled up. Worked out pretty well. Then I just closed them up with a whip stitch. Wasn't even too careful about it, just whipped it shut. What I like about using lavender is that when I go in my drawer and I squeeze it, it releases more smell. So it's kind of fun to like crunch it and smoosh it, and then the smell comes out. I don't know. I do like them. I like these. I'm having a little bit of feelings now that these are all done. I mean, just look at how far I've come since that last batch. It's almost night and day. This might be a good birthday project to do every year or two even, just to get some new messages flowing in your undies. And by the way, no matter what your gender or identity, you are all my bitches. And I mean that from the bottom of my mermaid heart. I really do. I'll see you in the next one.